classic teen movies. They make the world of high school dating look so picture perfect, don't they? Which one is that? Dr. Cheryl, which movie is that? Do you know? 16 Candles? Okay, that's why I don't know it. Not my wheelhouse. Show me some Ferris Bueller and I'm in. So the real world, though, things don't always work out the way they do in those teen movies. And, you know, kids, they seem to want to date younger and younger these days. Parents, well, we got to navigate that, which is difficult. Social media, dating apps, they've all changed everything, making things a whole lot more complicated. So we know this is an important issue that so many of us parents struggle with. And so we wanted to bring in child psychologist Dr. Cheryl Ziegler to talk about when to let your kids actually start dating. How do you manage that as an adult? I mean, is there a magic number? Like,
No.
okay, age 14, they can start dating.
No.
No, okay, it's not that
Definitely
easy.
Well, if you think about puberty and you think about the different ways
Every kid's different.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
different. They're all in different stages. So especially like the 14 age,
Yeah.
there could be such a wide range. So I think you're solidly into high school, but I think you're also looking at your own kid's maturity level.
Right.
But I think one of the things for parents to understand today is how incredibly different dating is.
Right.
So it is, you find somebody you want to date, you start developing the relationship, and you even break up all through a device.
Oh my gosh.
And so they are, I mean, even Bumble is an app that even high
Right.
schoolers use. And so that's how people are really meeting each other.
So what do you think that involves from a parent's perspective? I mean, do we need to be on their devices, kind of monitoring that stuff like we never did before?
I mean, I'm a big advocate of letting a kid know that any time the parent can check
Right.
their device. But I think when we're talking about high schoolers, maybe
Some
15,
freedom,
16,
yeah.
there's some freedom. But I think the most important thing today that a parent can do is really teach their kid that the development part of a relationship needs to actually happen in person.
Right.
That all can't happen on a device, even though that's what a lot of people are doing. There's a point in which you say, if you want to kind of continue to communicate,
Right.
you've got to start meeting in person.
Well, and you know, since I'm old school, I try to compare what they do now versus how it was back when I was in school. I mean, is it just a digital way of passing notes, or do you think there's even more of a reliance on digital social media communication than ever before?
I do. I mean, at least passing notes, you knew the person was in the same school,
That's
under
true.
the same roof, right?
Right.
So you can be sort of dating somebody anywhere, any
Yeah.
school in Denver or across the country.
Right.
That's what really is the big game changer. And I also think there's that addictive nature where at nighttime from 10 to 1 in the morning
Yeah.
is when kids are really active on their social media apps, sort of dating with other people. And that's where we start looking at disruptive sleep
Right.
and lying and
So if
hiding.
there's a couple of things that you think parents can do if they have kids in that age range and they don't feel like they have control of it right now, what kind of steps could parents take to try to regain control?
So I think one of the things to say is the reminder to the kids, like, do you really know who you're
Right.
talking to on the
Have
app?
that conversation.
Have that conversation and instill ideas to them that we just don't know who they are. And I also think kind of encouraging to stay within your own community
Right.
is always a good idea.
Right. So the people you know at school, the actual physical people you've met.
Right.
Yeah. And when do you think, we got to run, but I do want to ask you, when do you think it's at the point where parents do need to grab that device and say, listen, now we got to take this device and we got to start talking more seriously?
I think when you start to see patterns, I mean, to me, you want to prevent it. I just think
Right.
you take a device
sure.
every single night at 10:30 at night, absolute latest for high school,
Yeah.
and that's it. Just don't even put them in a situation like that.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Doctor, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm just going to keep my kids in their rooms. They're never going to date. They're never going to talk to anybody.
16 Candles. How do you not?
I don't think I've ever actually watched the whole movie. It's the worst. I mean, my wife loves it, but it's the worst.
That's the Porsche 944, man. That like.
Listen, you need more hobbies.
I got a hobby.